I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. Today is September 13th, 2012. The time is 7 p.m. All rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jackie, take the roll.
President Young.
Here.
Vice President Janner.
Here.
Commissioner Egan, absent. Commissioner Heidi.
Here.
Commissioner Ori.
Here.
Commissioner Riley.
Here.
Commissioner Todd.
Here.
The next item on the agenda is introductions and recognitions. Do we have any awards and recognitions today?
No.
Okay. Matters from the public. Jackie, has anyone signed up to speak?
Yes, we have one speaker, Ms. Denise Nelligan. Come right. Yes. Yeah.
There's a little red button to turn on so that we can hear you.
So everybody can, should be at the end of the, it says speak.
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 Please provide your name and your address for us. Thanks.
In the interest of brevity, I would like to read the statement that I have prepared. My name is Denise Nelligan. I live at 2333 Riverwoods Drive. I have been a Naperville resident since 1975 and on Riverwoods Drive since 1989. I am here as the resident whose property is immediately adjacent to the Park District property along the east bank of the DuPage River. I would like you to know that I have been in touch with Mr. Kevin Finnegan and two members of his staff, which I assume are responsible for the maintenance of the property behind my house. Our first meeting was about a year ago when I wrote a letter to Mr. McGurry complaining that a very large old oak tree had come down in a thunderstorm some 6 weeks earlier and had, as of that date, been left decaying behind the home next door to me. They, too, had called the Park District several times to have the tree removed, but received no action. Again this year, I phoned Mr. Finnegan approximately 3 or 4 weeks ago, and he agreed to meet me and walk along the edge of the woods, once again with the same two staff members who were with him last year. And I pointed out to him that I have the privilege of gazing upon no less than 5 dead trees hanging over the edge of the wooded area immediately behind my home. At that time, he assured me that something could be done to clean up the dead trees along the margins of the forest, which abut a grassy area of park land, which is immediately adjacent to my property and provides a nice area of weeds. We have seen in those 4 weeks, I have seen, one tractor mower make what would have been an abbreviated effort to mow had it not been for my husband letting him know that it was Park District land all the way down the block, not 3 lots. I have seen the young woman employee meeting with 2 different men, contractors we assumed, pointing to the trees and walking along the edge of the forest. And I have seen one young man walking along carrying a gasoline can and a gas-powered weed whacker. Please notice, I said walking along, not using the weed whacker. Believe me, the effort, in my judgment, has been minimal, and work even less minimal. What I find extremely irritating is the fact that the Park District has now spent a fortune on bike paths, jogging paths, an underpass under 75th Street, a bridge over the river at Knowles Park, farther south, and now the unfathomable beautification and enhancement and landscaping of a parking lot at Wagon Park, which is directly behind my home on the other side of the river. Of course, I can't see it due to the growth of weeds, dead and fallen trees, the few remaining oak trees, which have grown up, and other species which have grown up, largely box elder weed trees, and the accompanying millions of box elder bugs which find a home on my house. This summer, I worried a little bit that all the tinder back there, if there was a lightning strike, if there was a match, a cigarette tossed carelessly, could have been a major, major problem in terms of the dryness and the heat that we had this summer. I was back there day before yesterday, walking around. The path has been cleared. There is a path, but only the deer can get anywhere off the path. I sure can't. I also went down to Pioneer Park to look and see what was on the other side of the river, down farther. I couldn't see very much because the trees obviously have grown up there as well. However, the sign on Pioneer Park says, "The Park District cares about the DuPage River and will be involved in the reforestation project." I want to know, does the Park District care about the taxpayers whose taxes support the Park District and its programs? I think we deserve as much attention as the traffic on Washington Street that as non-residents fly through town and could care less what that parking lot at Wiegand Park looks like. I have asked, I've talked with Mr. Finnegan, I've been patient enough, I think. I want that mess behind my property cleaned up. I recently read in the newspaper, in fact last week, that the city of Naperville has decided to fine people who do not mow their lawns and charge them, in addition to mowing the lawns, a fine. In addition to the fine, no longer $50, but $90. Does the Park District not have to comply with the city ordinance of mowing? I have several pictures with me, which I'd love to have you see, but I don't want to take your time. I'll be happy to send each of you from my computer and your email addresses, which I've checked. I believe that you can see full well the deterioration of this park property over 22 years. I would like to call it benign neglect, but I don't even know if I can. Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Kevin, if you would respond to that, please. First of all, respond to the fact, I do remember the letter. Is that tree still?
No, that tree was taken care of
Yeah,
last fall.
that's what I thought of. Yeah, we didn't ignore that.
But as Ms.
Well,
Nelligan stated...
No, wait. Now I want to set the record straight. When you sent me the letter, we took care of that tree, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Kevin.
But as Ms. Nelligan stated, we did meet some weeks back. Since that time, we have selected a contractor to come in and remove several of the larger trees that were mentioned. There are several that do need to come down. They are within the fellway of the Loc Mow area, so that is a requirement that we do follow. We're also going to go along the trail and into the wooded area that was also mentioned and take down the larger hazard trees there as well. We have cleaned the path up somewhat. I really cannot comment on the mowing. I thought that we were out there every week, but I will definitely follow up on that.
We're going to move on now to the updates and reports. The first update is a Riverwalk Commission update. Commissioner Heidi.
Thank you, President Young. The Riverwalk Commission met on Wednesday, September 12th. Year-to-date budget consumption is tracking fairly normally, with the operating budget currently 46% spent and the capital budget 24% spent. Printing costs associated with the new Riverwalk brochure account for the slight elevation in operating budget spend down. This cost will be accommodated over the remainder of the fiscal year. The really interesting topic on our agenda was the 420 South Washington Street property. This property, which is just north of the Burger King, will be sold via a sheriff's auction next week. It's the recommendation of the Commission that the city purchase the property as it once tried to do and preserve it as open space. This would provide additional connectivity to that portion of the Riverwalk immediately adjacent thereto, and with the numerous encumbrances and impediments to development associated with the property, open space is, in our opinion, its highest and best use. The recommendation of the Commission will be communicated to the City via memorandum. A discussion relative to extending the southern border of the Riverwalk to Martin Avenue was tabled until our next meeting. Thank you.
We're going to move on now to the Finance Committee update. Commissioner Riley.
Thank you, President Young. The Finance Committee last met on August 22nd. As part of our ongoing review of district internal controls, Director Stanish explained the district's internal controls for wire transfers, which include a combination of dual controls, segregation of duties, and limited access within the Finance Department. Following discussion and some questions from the commissioners present, the committee feels the controls in place are adequate. Next, staff present information on a certificate of deposit program offered through MBS Securities. The district's investment portfolio is comprised of certificates of deposit, fixed income securities, and money market accounts. In the current investment climate, it continues to be a challenge finding CDs the district does not already own. That makes this MBS program attractive for us. The district has done business with MBS in the past and was satisfied with their performance and their customer service. The committee recommended bringing a resolution for approval to the full board. Sawyer Faldudo presented the June 30, 2012 investment performance report. As of June 30th, 2012, the portfolio value totaled $4,028,673 with a year-to-date net return of 0.65%. For reference purposes, the Barclays 1 to 3 year Treasury Index, used as the fixed income benchmark, returned 0.12%. The net account return since inception, which is June 30th of last year, as of June 30th of this year was 1.61%, compared with the Barclays 1 to 3 Treasury Index for the same period at 0.81%. So the committee is pleased that the district returns continue to exceed the benchmark. The committee will meet next on Monday, the 17th of this month at 10:30 a.m. in the Administration Building.
The next update is the Legislative Committee update. Commissioner Heidi.
Thank you, President Young. Nothing new to report tonight, as our next meeting is Tuesday, September 18th.
Moving on then to the Parks and Recreation Committee update. Commissioner Todd.
The latest Parks and Rec Committee meeting was held September 6th. The committee reviewed updates to the master plan. The revised section will be brought to the board for review at an upcoming workshop. The intergovernmental agreement with District 204 is still being worked. There is new discussion regarding the Central Park intergovernmental agreement. Our staff will be meeting with representatives of the city and the Carillon to review the Carillon agreement, and the board will get an update at an upcoming workshop. Other topics that we discussed included the possible installation of a drinking fountain along the new trail that's near Riverwalk Commons Park. The ADA transition plan was also discussed. Every 3 to 5 years, staff reviews our plan and works to incorporate new standards which have been identified during that time frame. So we're in the process of reviewing that. In other reports, notable items included our new fall programs are in preparation. Staff is working to set up a schedule of programs for the new 95th Street Center. Parks are also busy outlining fields for football. Many of our baseball fields will be utilized for the Fall Soccer League. And also, there is work to remove the invasive scrub trees in Riverwoods Park, which was what was requested by Ms. Mulligan. And then planning continues to review the capital plan for 2013.
And before you take a breath, next is the Golf Committee. Commissioner Todd.
As the golf committee met on August 27th, and golf staff provided an update to the committee in 3 areas: marketing updates, July revenue and expense updates, and the update on the capital projects. So in terms of the marketing update, we talked about golf lessons registration. Golf is currently up in both participation and revenues for golf lessons compared to the 2011 year-to-date totals. We also looked at the focus group recap. Marketing staff has held 3 focus groups,
And there's an executive summary and supporting documents were distributed in our Friday packets. The committee's goal will be to discuss the feedback in detail at the September committee meeting. And then regarding golf websites, the golf site is going to be overhauled in the off-season, so next season everyone should see a new look for the golf website. In terms of our revenue and expenses, the total rounds for the year are still strong, although the July rounds were down due to the heat. 2012 revenues are ahead of 2011 year-to-date totals, but in line with previous years. The expenses are down from our 2011 year-to-date totals. In terms of the capital project, the deep well project at Naperville is finally complete. Additional power for the well has been addressed, and the well is up and running just fine. Upcoming events. In September 21st, Naperville is having a couples glow ball event. It's our last night event of the 2012 season. Glow ball has been a very popular event. If anybody is interested in signing up, contact Naperville. October 13th, we'll see Springbrook have its fall scramble, which is open to all golfers 18 years or older with an official USGA handicap. And this, and the other thing that golfers need to know is that this year we're planning to aerify greens at Naperbrook on September 17th and at Springbrook September 24th, weather permitting. And then the next golf committee meeting is scheduled for September 24th at 7:30 in the morning at Springbrook. That's it.
In light of the Bears-Packers game, I've been asked to keep my comments brief. So I'll simply say go Bears, and I will entertain you all next time with a President's update. Ray?
Thank you, President Young. A couple quick updates here. We will be hosting a ribbon cutting at Creekside Park next Tuesday, September 18th at 5 p.m. We will be celebrating the opening of a new playground and basketball court. We're going to be serving refreshments and giveaways will be provided. For further information, go to our new and improved website at www.napervilleparks.org for more information. Speaking of the website, yes, it is brand new. We launched it about a week and a half ago or so, and I want to send out a special thanks to Director of Communications and Marketing Samara Luthman and her staff. For those of you that are watching this broadcast at some point in time and know anything about website design, you understand how expensive that can be. This was all done in-house. So when you go to that website and you take a look at the functionality of that website, that was all created by the Park District staff, your staff basically as taxpayers. The savings were astronomical, and if you go there, it just, again, we've done a lot of great things. I'm really, really proud of this one, especially because of the fact that we engaged the community. We used focus groups. We had a lot of back and forth with community members and different affiliates to really bring that website into the 21st century. I think we were really lagging behind as a district. So thank you to Samara and her group. And again, a couple of the different features I just mentioned about the new navigation system, which allows users to access every page with a single click, new dynamic events calendar, fast and accurate live search function. It was very nice too with the parks. You look for a park, you click on it, you type in your address, it immediately gives you directions how to get to that park. So again, just a great upgrade to something that we all use that 20, 25 years ago we wouldn't even think about using, and now this is just everybody goes to that to the site. So again, very pleased and very grateful for staff to complete that. And the last thing I have is the Healing Field of Honor is returning. The Naperville's Healing Field of Honor will return to Rotary Hill this fall in conjunction with Veterans Day. Lots more details are coming out on that. Please go to our new website or go to www.healingfield.org and /Naperville, and it'll again will give you more information on that. It's going to be a great event. This time around, 3 years ago, the proceeds benefited Fisher House, and this time around, proceeds are going to help fund research programs benefiting veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and traumatic brain injuries. And what's significant, obviously, about both of those is that we just didn't come up with these. On our committee, we have actual veterans that have just recently come out of the service, some that are still in, and told us that this is the biggest issue that veterans, not only from previous engagements, but ones coming out now from the war are experiencing. So besides the patriotic and obviously the things that just happened over in Egypt and Libya, go out and buy a flag and support our troops and our men and women who serve us proudly. Okay? Thank you.
All right, moving on to the approval of the treasurer's report.
Move to approve the July 2012 Treasurers' Report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley, excuse me.
Yes.
Commissioner Riley. Commissioner Egan absent. Commissioner Heidi.
Yes.
Commissioner Ori.
Aye.
Commissioner Todd.
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. The next item is the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I'd ask that item I, that'd be 8I, be removed from the consent agenda for individual consideration.
Move to accept consent agenda items A through H and J through L.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd.
Yes.
Commissioner Egan absent. Commissioner Heidi.
Yes.
Commissioner Ori.
Aye.
Commissioner Riley.
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Move to approve consent agenda item I.
No, we have to accept it.
Excuse me, move to approve consent agenda as accepted.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? This is a voice vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Now we're moving on to unfinished business, item 8I.
Yeah, if I may, President Young, the original intent was to approve contracts with the construction manager for the tenant improvements at the 95th Street properties you already approved by ordinance to lease. The, I don't know, landlord didn't understand the concept of having to work with a public entity, I guess, in terms of the construction contracts. The original intent of the writer said that they were going to build them for us, but they had us executing the contracts with the construction manager and had the architect working for the construction manager. And by the time we were done making it look like a contract for a public entity, a whole series of expectations were turned upside down and lots of heartburn on all sides, the construction manager, the landlord, the architect, and us. So working with Eric, Eric was able to talk to the landlord's representative to make it much cleaner. And what you have in front of you now is ordinance number 796. What we've done is revised Rider D to the lease in the way that's attached, Exhibit 1 to this ordinance. And what it does is it says the landlord has to deliver to the Park District the tenant improvements that are approved in a particular set of plans. We've already been through that, and the Park District staff has signed off on a particular set of plans for a guaranteed maximum price of $66,000 and some change. And the has to be delivered by October 26th. So those are the critical points from our perspective. We know what we're spending. We know when we're getting it. They're aware that we're going to have damages if they don't deliver it to us. And how they go about contracting to get that done on their property is their business. And that way we don't have to be in there looking for all the things we have to look for on a public job, like surety bonds, for example. You know, that's a percentage cost increase, and they're not required on a private project, but they are on a public project. So what we have in front of you in lieu of approving a direct contract is approval of ordinance number 796, authorizing a rider to the commercial lease previously approved by ordinance 789. And so if there are questions, I'm happy to take them, but what we're asking the board to do tonight is to adopt a motion approving ordinance number 796, authorizing a rider to that commercial lease for 2244 West 95th Street, previously approved by ordinance number 789.
So moved.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner Ori.
So, in effect, the price and the specifications of the work to be performed hasn't changed.
Correct.
Any further questions? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan absent, Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. Moving on to new business.
Move to approve ordinance number 795, amending the board policies and bylaws of the Naperville Park District concerning the office of secretary.
Second.
There's a motion and a couple of seconds. Any discussion on the motion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan absent, Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes.
Move to approve awarding the purchase of one John Deere 1445 Series 2 commercial front mower, less mower deck with broom and angle to plow on Illinois Association of County Board Members, contract number 10LT00777-A through Aaron's Hogan Walker in the amount not to exceed $29,548.82.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan absent, Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. We are moving on to item 11, which is future meetings. The special meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners will be September 27th at our South Maintenance Facility at 6 p.m. The next regular meeting will be October 11th here in Council Chambers, and then again the special meeting in October is October 25th, and that again will be at the South Maintenance Facility. We are having, yes, we do have executive session.
Okay, move to adjourn to executive session to discuss imminent litigation 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Jackie, take the roll.
Vice President Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner Riley,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan absent, Commissioner Heidi,
Yes.
Commissioner Ori,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Young.
Yes. We will not be taking any action during executive session.